men still unaccounted for this morning. We're told
I'm Ashley Roberts. I'm the morning reporter at the CBS-owned station WCCO-TV in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I'm also a proud graduate of FAMU from the School of Journalism and Graphic Communication.
One call and told police that she was going back into the home.
I've worked at a number of television stations throughout my career. I was fortunate enough to actually start reporting in college. At the time, I was an associate producer at WCTV, the CBS affiliate in Tallahassee, Florida, and the news director gave me a wonderful opportunity to report on the weekends. After I graduated from FAMU in 2004, that's when really my journey officially got underway. I landed my first job in Panama City, Florida. From there, I moved to Roanoke, Virginia. After Virginia, I moved to Birmingham, Alabama.
Has been evacuated. Most of the guests have already checked into nearby hotels. Asked police about the relationship between the suspect and the victim. They say from all accounts they believe both were strangers up until last night here at Willie's Bar and Grill. Right here in front of me there are several semi-trucks that are here stuck.
Whenever I'm out reporting in the field, there are times when things go wrong. Things don't go as planned. So what happens then? Well, you improvise. That's the art of ad-libbing. That's the art of being able to be on your toes at all times so that the show doesn't stop. You continue. You just roll with the punches.
All of this cold weather has people really anxious to start ice skating and ice fishing, but this time of the year, people also have to keep in mind ice safety. For nearly 5 decades, the Citizens Board has had the final say on whether to issue permits and require extensive environmental reviews. Board members and supporters say they aren't going.
Since I've worked in several different markets, I've had the privilege of being able to have different positions at almost every station. My first station, Panama City, Florida, I was a one-man band. I also had the chance to fill in anchor there. I worked the assignment desk. I also produced on occasion. Then when I moved to Virginia, I was still essentially a one-man band, but I worked at our station's bureau. So the bureau, that's a separate office away from the main station. And there I covered about 10 counties. I was responsible for covering news in all of those areas, all of those cities. I had to work my contacts, constantly work my sources to find stories because that bureau was my responsibility.
This case captured the attention of the entire state because of all of the publicity. The trial will start today in Stearns County.
When I worked in Birmingham, I had the amazing experience of anchoring the weekend newscast there. So that afforded me the opportunity to kind of test out the managerial side of things, right? Because on the weekends, the managers aren't there. So it's the anchors and the producers that are essentially making the decisions about what goes into the shows, how you cover breaking news, who you invite as guests on the show. And now living here in Minneapolis, this is so different from everywhere else I've worked. For one, it's cold, very cold. For two, I'm working during the week reporting for the morning show, so I'm getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning and getting off around 12:30. But the amazing thing about being here is that this is an O&O station, meaning it's owned by the CBS network. So I've been able to do several live shots and produce several stories for the CBS network, which is amazing.
Police say the owner and 6 employees were traveling from Chicago from that trade show. They were heading to Iowa, but the 4 suspects, only described as wearing dark-colored clothing and hoodies, well, they had other.
One of the biggest challenges in this business for some people is time management. I was very fortunate enough to kind of wrap my head around that very early on, large in part to one of my college professors, Professor Kenneth Jones at FAMU. He didn't play about those deadlines. But at my stations, I always went in every single day, and I still do, knowing what my responsibilities are for that day, how much time I have to complete each task, and when I need to be ready for airtime. Because if you are not on air when you're supposed to be, if you do not have your story at the right time, you didn't do your job for the day. So that means you get an I, an incomplete for the day. So time management is essential to this entire business. Reporters have to be ready on time. Anchors, producers have to have the shows written. Everything is all about time. That's what it boils down to at the end of the day. Did the suspect look familiar at all? Did you recognize him?
No.
Homeowners are convinced the suspect does not live in the area.
I cannot emphasize enough how important it is for every member of the news team to work together. I know it sounds, it's a cliche, but every piece of the puzzle is needed to ensure that this machine we call news makes sense, that it comes together for the viewers.
At this point, it's unclear if Palmer broke any U.S. laws. While the U.S. and Zimbabwe have had an extradition treaty in place since 1997.
Being a journalist, being a reporter is not for everyone. You have to have the drive. You have to have determination. You really have to be passionate. And if you want to have weekends and holidays off, well, this isn't the job for you, because you do not have a set schedule. There will be times you will not be able to go home. You will not be able to spend time with your family on Thanksgiving, on Christmas. Your schedule is unpredictable. Sometimes you have to come in an hour, 2, 3, 4 hours earlier than your regular shift. And sometimes you have to stay a lot later than you expect to. You have to go with the flow. You have to be ready for anything. And this business is not for the faint of heart at all. You have to have tough skin, because we continue to cover so many tragedies that happen everywhere. From shootings, stabbings, knocking on the doors of family members who've lost loved ones. It's hard.
University officials say the student came down with the measles